In this audio, I am continuing the next remaining points of lesson number 1. Now, the point is 1.4.6 Conduct Teacher Policy. A school is a small form of society. This small society is also a reflection of different trends in society. This often leads to miraculous events in the school world. The headmaster maintains the situation and overcomes it. Student teacher relationships are sometimes strained. Then conflicts arise and the health of the school deteriorates. The teacher's policy is in shock. At that point, something has to be done. If the teacher has done anything wrong, the principal should apologize and make a respectable compromise on his behalf. This will not hinder the teacher's policy. Students and teacher groups cause for some reason and those groups begin to see each other in the water. The healthy environment of the school is disturbed and daily activities are also interrupted. It needs to be closed. Theological differences can be erased, but the brunt of the grouping goes away. All of these teachers' moral courage deteriorates. The headmaster should make his way through this on time. Recent research has shown that there is a close link between teacher ethics and teacher effectiveness. Teachers who have a high moral attitude have high self esteem. They have the feeling that we are somebody, something we can achieve. They have the confidence that we can make our future, our work successful. They believe that you are fully responsible for your success. On the contrary, teachers with low morality do not seem to be able to do anything. Depending on your situation, your failure, or throws on other elements, for effective teaching, the teacher must have a firm belief in his duties. We need a strong sense of confidence that our students can make. It's not like everyone has it. Also, many incidents occur in a society that will shock those who have it. The, the deteriorating social status of teachers further contributes to this. The headmaster will have to help the teacher to get through this. Nowadays, more and more people are getting more and more respect in society. All are humble before wealth. As a result, these money lenders begin to commit dishonesty and recklessness in society. No one is trying to get them down. It has its roots in the school as well as the teacher. The teacher does not have the patience to take on such a rigorous role. The headmaster should come forward to take those who cannot take such a role and support those who take it. But in the past, the work that we are doing in the past is important for the community, and the teacher's faith should be increased. If the society behind material happiness does not realize its importance, then the teacher should be convinced that it is the blindness of society and not the teacher. Everyone has to answer for themselves the question of what you got at the end of life. What can one answer to the pursuit of material happiness, dreams? However, the Chaga teacher can proudly say that the headmaster should raise awareness among the teachers that I have given the talented people who can work in different fields. Moreover, the teacher can take the initiative to increase the social status of the teacher. When a teacher acts consciously, he can set the norm for others when the teacher's moral and religious duties are carried out with the pure purpose of disseminating knowledge. If the teacher's behavior is threatened by the teacher's moral integrity, his image is dirty. If the students come to the school with full faith in their teachers, they are careful not to cheat on them. If this is to happen, teachers should not fall prey to temptation. When dealing with students, impartiality, objectivity while contributing creates a rift on students, parents, and the community. A teacher is not a lying person. The headmaster should be careful not to let anyone come and talk to him. Parents should not meet with the teacher without their prior consent and time. If there is a complaint about the teacher, in that regard, the teacher should ask to meet with him or herself, and then rules should be made for the parents. The teacher's decision should not possibly be altered. One should take care to be respectful if there is a compromise. Effective teacher associations are useful for enhancing the reputation of the teaching profession. As their strength increases, community intervention will decrease. That is why the headmaster should never assume that teachers' unions are against us. The headmaster should always advance a healthy helping hand with them. Next point 1.4.7 Guidance for teachers of various trends. Many of the teachers who work under the headship of the principal have many constraints. There are many tendencies. The headmaster should keep a close eye on these tendencies with his sharp eye. Each teacher can be evaluated based on academic work in the school and ongoing work in different departments. Students and assistant teachers openly express their views about the teacher. It can also be used to research the teacher. The headmaster should know that not only does the search end his work, but he also has the burden to do it. By the way, it shows that he knows many examples. Some teachers are inefficient but curious. They want us to take part in everything, work in different departments. They try to do so, but their position does not succeed. They do not have the motive to find out the reason, and so they are just struggling. The headmaster should explain why they are inefficient and what are the reasons behind it. It takes planning when doing any work. The teacher wants to present a drama during the school meeting. So let's think about what he should plan. He must first read the play and carefully. The basic idea is how many characters there are, what are their characteristics, and how do you get them. He should do it. It also requires the recording of the location, time, and results of the scene. He should write down what materials are needed to show this, and he should start by making sure that we can do all of this and are in our voice. But the teacher begins to work without any thought of putting this planning aside. The teacher has to act while setting up a drama. If the person who wants to direct is not acting, how will he direct it? The characters will behave in their way, propping theatre arrangements, theatre and costumes, etc. No wonder if it is not a dramatic drama. It is clear from this that just because a teacher is curious does not work. The headmaster has to take measures to make it efficient. Otherwise, this teacher will be frustrated and frustrated. This teacher should be hired to work with a competent teacher. They should give a meeting and give an idea of how planning should be done. Part of the fulfillment of that plan should be delegated to these teachers. He should frequently inquire as to what progress has been made in that regard. That is, he will realize that labor costs are a lot of planning. Further, every gopi should be thought of and entrusted with the task. That means he will feel confident and will have some efficiency. This functionality will only come if it is an area of interest. Often, such curious teachers are hesitant to teach upper classes. but their enthusiasm is not as effective. He does not have the depth of knowledge needed to teach the above classes. He should do that penance. Without penance, duty is not happen. He has to acquire skills through practice, experience. The headmaster also has to handle the right person in the right place. Allow them to see the hours of teachers who teach upper classes and they will realize how immature we are. It is not desirable for them to become aware of inefficiency, but to motivate them to follow the path of efficiency. Sometimes teachers of the opposite tend to meet. They are efficient but unattractive. We need to find out the reasons for their inconvenience. If these reasons are realized, the headmaster can be dealt with. If every teacher gets all the marks in the school, then the nature of the school will be really strong. It will be an organization that stands for development. Everyone will find a way to get there. Some teachers who are efficient but unattractive have a different perception of their duties. As a teacher, they have a wonderful concept in the pillow, used to come to school on time. As the schedule ticks up, the classes go on and start studying. When the bell rang, it was time to leave the classroom. How many children were there in the classroom? Whether they saw the impact of teaching on their posture, they didn't care because it doesn't fit into their imagination. They only have the contract to act as a discipline as a machine. Therefore, beyond the teaching of lessons, the teacher does not want to do anything in the school. They don't even need to make your teaching come alive. They voluntarily accepted the enslavement of schedules and clocks. They are determined not to use it in spite of its efficiency. Principals should appreciate this their regular behavior and intentionally assist them in carrying out minor responsibilities. Their efficiency may be another reason for such an efficient but unsatisfactory method. These men are overwhelmed with extraordinary ego. They openly believe that everyone but you. They have a tendency to be mad like crazy when my chickens don't wake up. Aiming to reduce their ego is important to the health of the school, but the headmaster has to take a precaution in this regard. That is what other teachers hate to do with this ego, egotistical person. They want to throw him into the desert. So the headmaster wants to contact him without even annoying him. This arrogant man should be entrusted with the responsibility of cooperating with others, and it is his turn to do so so that his ego's edge will be diminished. For example, he was entrusted with an exam meeting arrangement so he could not do it alone. The thought that you cannot do this work alone will greatly diminish his ego and his tendency to cooperate and take over. The headmaster will have to work with this in mind. The ego's mercury starts to come down and then everything will be smooth. Sometimes the circumstances of the house and the rights of the house make the person frustrated. There is no happiness in the home. The struggles faced daily, so the incoming Trinity also comes as a teacher, not interested in anything. So the job of the teacher is to feel like a teacher. Such men have to create some areas of interest. If you give them the task of get the kids ready, it will reduce their anger. Interest in constructive work builds up and the process of change of attitude begins. Some teachers find this to be a challenge to the principal. How to become a teacher is a puzzle. Teacher money is imposed on them. This makes them confused about what to expect or not to do. Not only are they inefficient but also unsuitable. Of course, he may have some reason. Some people are single minded. They don't have much contact with anyone. They are not able to gather men but to deal with them. They don't want to do that either. They are scared of social relationships or the whole life. They feel strongly that nothing will happen to you, so they do not serve any purpose, so their inefficiency is assured. After reading books, guides, they take the exams and pass. That is why they know the job by an acquaintance, but even as a teacher, their mind does not leave the cell. The headmaster should take the initiative to bring such teachers into the student world. Their inefficiencies must be overcome. For this, sometimes the headmaster has to accept a somewhat insistent and stern role. The lack of school is created by such teachers. It is the principal's job to remove it. They should gradually become patient by discussing their hours with them. One does not expect a bright guide to be created from them, but the diagnosis should be seen to be somewhat clever. Improvement is possible for every human being. Transformation is not impossible, just a little while. Some teachers uphold the tradition of the school and understand that school is the only place where they can do their duty. Their motivations are intense and they put themselves in line to achieve their goals. Like a craftsman who forgets and consolidates his mind, he is free. They work on carving and carving idols. It is desirable to treat these efficient and dedicated teachers with the utmost respect. They are not just teachers for jobs. Many teachers say that if you ask them why you choose this business, their answer is quite funny. This job does not have a stain on the job. Moreover, the holidays are very and now pensions are also facilitated. The salary also gets better. This pathetic attitude does not suit a dedicated teacher. He will continue to do his duty with reverence. The headmaster can't provide such a teacher with all kinds of support. Discuss with them and determine the school and non-school programs. This year you have to prove the plans for the new project and plan for it. All supervision should be maintained by these teachers. They should publicly report their achievements and thank them. Assign supervision and teacher guide to the school. Their experiences should benefit students and other teachers. Encourage them to present their ideas in writing. Students cooperate with them through camps and camps. Since this teacher is working on the idea that education is life altering alchemy, it will nurture a student's imagination. He will awaken the many forces in their place, helping someone find what is in their place rather than teaching them something is education. He discovers his speciality that his personality can flourish. The government should inform the dedicated teachers the projects they present, the work they do for the student, and the hard work done for the school should be kept in front of the people. People like Maharishi Kas lived a saintly life and collected funds to support their work at the doorstep of people every day. These teachers also raise funds through many media. He is keen to have up-to-date facilities in the school, and because of that he erected buildings for laboratories, libraries, gymnasiums, theatres, etc. These are the sacred monuments of their perpetual waking. It should be gratefully mentioned, but the chief principal should be able to discharge it. Some of them are excellent writers, write a reflection of his life and publish it through the organization. Their experience is the solution to the problems of education. Many will find a way through it. It will be refreshing and you will find satisfaction in following the steps of the great ones. Print out their best lessons and speeches. Remove the soundtrack, that is, the coming generations will receive excellent guidance. Such conspicuous teachers also have a tradition. They work from different schools, but their goals are the same as dedication. That is what the student is determined to do. This is the arrow that says, insert it in your heart. The fact is that such teachers build a stable community tomorrow, so treat them with respect in a friendly way. Teachers working in the school have different tendencies. The headmaster wants to take them all along. His ability to harmonize instruments and tunes is challenging. He has to gather from his experience the power to meet this challenge. He always has to be very careful about this. Sometimes teachers are overwhelmed with extreme frustration. The brightness of their hearts is extinguished. They do not feel like anything. The feathers are wrinkled in their appearance. Promotions, honors, etc. are often disrupted in many things. Their contentment is lost. Hopeful things happen regularly. Their minds are noisy without a particle. This situation seems inevitable in the professional life of many individuals in the service profession. At the outset of the business, they work with a sense of dedication with enthusiasm. They struggle to read, learn, and apply new ideas, but with experience, with each passing year, the intuition gradually disappears. What a shock for this! What did society give us in return? Disregard, disgrace, insult. With this thought, their shock is diminished. They are not doing anything new. Ridicule the newcomers. What's new in each new concept coming up? It is said. All this we have already done. They say this is the old wine in the new bottle. These are called burnouts. Such a broken mind needs to be re energized. The headmaster should identify the reason for the wind that has gone through the heart. Reasoning cannot be taken without understanding. It is necessary to do pleasant things with such teachers. Empathy reduces suffering. In many ways, it can be said in the course of speaking that many have made their way through grief. You can also try to bring a new hope while slowly reducing the pain by coughing. With a strong friendship, the teacher found a place of faith that he freely expresses grief and then intimately tell him that he can take away the pain. Simple tasks at school should be entrusted to him. The burden of work should be increased slightly if it seems to involve its mind. Theatrical events, manuscripts, various performances, essay contents, short tours, or personal sports are useful in this regard. They are interesting and help to forget the situation. The degradation of the mind has to go away. Gradually, the glow on it will begin to appear. The mood will go down and something else has to be done. This does not mean that a teacher full of enthusiasm will stand up, but the breath of consciousness will begin to end. The school environment will not deteriorate. The motivation for the disappearance is the problem. This may be due to the lack of personal philosophy, that is the source of inspiration. External temptations will also have to be used for some time. Let's see if financial gains, though not as wage increases, are possible the other way around. If a promotion cannot be made as per the rules, other positions should be offered. For example, head of examination department, chair of the convention. Some of the teachers are not humanized. New textures come in, the new text comes in, new concepts like mathematics come up with new concepts and have to be based on them. Pride of studying At this point, these forgotten teachers should be sent to the eloquence class in a different environment outside. They are intellectually stimulated when exposed to different individuals. We can reignite the motivation that we too can do. The teachers who came up with this new inspiration should be asked to evoke other colleagues. Ask for a project to be undertaken as part of some follow up. In short, these teachers have to keep pace. If the teacher himself is teaching the students while studying, the sparkling of the forgotten teachers will rekindle. Next point is 1.4.8 Teacher Welfare Scheme. The process of education is the process of socialization. As a factor in this process, the teacher is working. He is a treacherous citizen. Even though it is true that he does important things, it requires financing. It is impossible to walk without money. From time to time, some commissions are appointed by the government. The commission considers the teacher's situation well. In many places, the situation of the teachers is observed. Some information is asked to provide tablets to schools. Information is collected by sending questionnaires to teachers' associations, headquarters, and non teaching staff organizations. The office bearers of all these organizations are discussed. On the basis of all this information, the members of the commission sit together and discuss and come to a unanimous conclusion. All these findings go to the government. There were discussions and decisions were made according to the circumstances. They were implemented. The next step is governance in terms of wage growth, rental rights, education for children, pension plans, provident funds, gratuities, etc. Get health facilities. This is not to say that it is all good, but it shows that the government is prepared to relieve many pains. The two sides are temporarily settled and the system goes on. Speaking on the radio on a Teacher's Day, the then Education Minister Namdar Madhukar Rao Chaudhary had said, while expressing our respect for the Gurus, this is a day to think about their overall development plans, give them a place of honor in the society, and do their best to promote their welfare. This is the main purpose of the celebration. Angikarali publication is the responsibility of the teacher to the great work of the society and the nation's glorious creation. Thought to be somewhat introvert, the welfare of the society and about. It is clear that the question of the welfare of the teacher is very important to all. The Teacher Welfare Fund collects government on the occasion of Teachers' Day. It provides funding for teachers. This is typically paid for by the medical staff. Financial support is also given to those with disabilities. Being unable to find and serve in an accident, teachers are doing little for the welfare of their society. But a lot can be done to the headmaster for your school. Every school has a teacher's credit card. All teachers become members of it. Every month they keep paying for specific subscriptions. According to cooperative law, the creditors are registered. Loans are provided to this creditor by the district central bank. Therefore, the teacher gets a loan at the time of financial hardship and his installment is deducted from his salary. With this facility, the teacher gets the little housekeeper, help in times of financial hardship, housework, and so on. To complement this, professor with the loan on the fund, its plans are realized. Even in the school, all the teachers are working in unison under the leadership of the headmaster. If a teacher has an unexpected problem, the rest comes to his aid. They help him with all kinds of help, but at the time, every school should protect the interests of its teachers through such schemes as group insurance, home loan scheme. That responsibility is, of course, the principal. Children of the teachers who teach in the school are given free education in that school. He gets the discount as a teacher. The teacher's pocket is a bit of relief. No one believes it has been a huge help. General chat lounge. Organizers also offer cash prizes in the form of special performances. At the time of his trouble, he owes him no interest. This is done by intimacy about the teacher. The headmaster can act as a catalytic agent. In some places, hostels are built by teachers' unisons. That is where teachers can spend less on education. The cost of living in a city or living in another hostel is very low. Teachers may also receive some scholarships. The headmaster should look for all these facilities. Teachers can face many problems in their lives. They can freely share the problem with the headmaster because such trust is created by the headmaster. The headmaster should, under his leadership, appoint such a committee of various sections of the society and try to resolve these issues. Family intimacy can solve these questions. Disasters can have many consequences. They can also be resolved through Rotary clubs, Lions Club, other charities in the village. It will be possible to get rid of many disasters such as floods, catastrophes, and accidents. Of course, it all depends on the relationship between the school and the community. The more harmonious that relationship is, the easier it will be to deal with disaster relief. Besides, health plans should be provided to the headmaster as much as he can get as per the rules of the government. If the teacher becomes premature, his or her children, if they qualify, can be put into service. If they do not have the qualifications required by the teacher, then they can work in the office. The headmaster should place his importance on the driver, the society, and the governments in all three places with his organizational and administrative skills. If the headmaster is prepared to face the situation that will come, his colleagues will not be left without his support. 1.4.9 In Service Teacher Training. Investigation of needs. There is no appointment of a teacher unless there is a diploma or degree, that is D.Ed or B.Ed, that is relevant to the field of education following current teacher recruitment rules. But the school is operating on a non-subsidized basis, and in some places even a graduate is appointed as a teacher. Since he is a teacher, he must know the science of education and science. For this, the government has given an extension to the diploma course by letter. The headmaster should be in priority provide all facilities to such teachers and help them get the required diploma. Yashwantrao Sawan, BSc of Maharashtra Open University Education. This will be of particular use to the curriculum. Some of the schools in NCC units are approved. It needs to be an educated officer to start it. It is independent of education. Military officers pay it. For this, contact the concerned office and select one of your teachers and send it to him for education. He will receive the education in the required time, and upon completion of his education successfully, the NCC, the unit will turn on and continue to work as per the assigned syllabus. At present, there is a special need for computer science and electronics courses. That's what parents demand. Students are also keen on it, but they are not teachers who specialize in those subjects. They should be trained in the above subjects by selecting the right teachers. These teachers should be trained by teaching in government approved institutions where they provide education. As the government changes its curriculum, it prepares some trained guides to ensure that the change is implemented in schools. He is called a resource person. These trained guides were created so that under their leadership, the teachers' camps for those subjects were filled up at the district level or district wise. It is the responsibility of the headmaster to send the camp to the concerned teacher in his school. These campers are given a complete idea of the new curriculum and given an understanding of its course and action. The teacher visiting this camp has to instruct other teachers of the subject concerned in his school. So, changing the course is not a problem in his school. All the concessions are given by the government to the educating teacher. There is an institute that considers the teaching of English. Through this institute, some short term letter courses are taken every year. Your teacher should send and train such courses to teach this subject effectively and successfully in your school. This should be done in a planned manner by the headmaster. For other topics, the government also plans and executes some programs. Principals are expected to allow taking advantage of the maximum number of teachers. The school has some graduate trained teachers. For some reason, they do not get the opportunity to graduate. The discussions with them indicate that they want to. Then the headmaster should encourage them, make books available to them. We should arrange for the study to be a little leisurely. Their education will not only improve their standard but will also enhance the quality of their teaching. Since this is a matter of interest to the school, the principal should always be prepared to do so. For this, financial support must also be obtained from the organization. Directors should acknowledge the importance of these and get as much support as they can. If a teacher wishes to research by considering a question related to education, and if the university has given him a license, then he should give him research. Discussing that topic should help him establish a conceptual theory. The teacher who received such a doctorate was a school teacher. There are many art education courses for theatricals, photography, writing, painting, etc. For this, teachers should be sent so that the school will be at the forefront of the non-teaching movement. Those who have allowed the school to access these facilities should look to see if the teachers use their knowledge for the students. They should be aware this and act effectively. Those who continue their pursuit should be applauded. Regarding the sports they want or the skills they need, they should be informed about the competition being held elsewhere and the enthusiasm for the tournament should be created in their place. Frequent reminders should be handled consistently by the headmaster. The headmaster should implement a planned program to keep his school teacher always awake and knowledgeable. Every school has something new. They are beginning to understand its consequences. Does it require modifications? Seminars should be organized through the headquarters. Association for consideration of such matters. This will bring together teachers from different schools. Your thoughts on a particular problem will be discussed. All the teachers present at the seminar will be elated. Moreover, their thinking will be encouraged. Some new paths will be suggested and the winds of progress in the educational field will begin to flow. The teacher who participates in the seminar prepares. This means that education is rooted in it. He is deeply concerned about that idea and is concerned about the progress of a student who is the focus of an education. It also draws the essence of the seminar into this constructive thinking. If the seminar reflects the facilities provided by the teacher and the knowledge that the teacher has personally trained in the seminar, the headmaster will be assured that he has performed his duties properly. Some things are experimental or work can be concluded by doing workshops to think about how some things are done. the consequences of them, whether children are easy to understand or not. The curriculum changes, the preparation of thematic questions, the thinking of the subject of the work from a practical point of view, etc., are derived from this workshop. Students' ability increases and they get closer to knowledge. Every branch of knowledge is changing. There is a modernization. Each topic is dealt with in a new perspective. This requires training classes. The innovation of knowledge should be introduced from it. If new ideas are transmitted, the loss of education will be great. Not all teachers are ready for reading. There is not much walking around the library. New ideas, and new knowledge must go to his ears. Training classes are important for this. Many experts working outside the field of education have their duties reflected in their ideas. Their views are outstanding. So it is important to introduce what is fruitful. In order to meet the students' curiosity, it is in its place to conduct expert lectures on many subjects. While the teacher is a component of the community, he should support the social development movement. The teacher should be motivated to participate in various social movements, for example, superstition elimination, mobilization, literacy dis- dissemi- dissemination, health education, etc., which must be implemented by the teacher for the rehabilitation of the values which are falling in the society. From these participants themselves, even a teacher can learn a lot. In essence, head teacher should provide opportunities for in-service training conducted by non-school organizations, but should also serve as a means to ensure that every school should become a continuously in-service training center. These goals can be done on two levels: one by conducting programs as per the teacher's need for new changes, and two, new programs to see if the student quality has an impact. The first level is the quality of education and the second is the quality of the student. First, the headmaster should identify the new things that his teacher should be trained in, such as any new changes in education. Accordingly, what are the out of school plans available for the training of the teachers and which should be taken under the school, and then the program should be planned during the holidays or in short working hours. The headmaster can organize these events as well as realize how successful he is. With the help of teachers, the headmaster will create schemes of how the students will benefit. Now, 1.4.10, techniques and efforts to create consolidation. The teacher in your school should know that you are a component of a group and that the headmaster should know that you are the one who should work for it. For this, he can undertake various activities. Some festivals should be celebrated together in school. All came together, laughing and chatting, so that the rift between them vanished. Unidentified misconceptions are removed. Speaking of pleasant things creates solidarity. Then the headmaster should see how such occasions can be brought. Another way to get together is to travel. There are many benefits that teachers at school have to travel together. Visiting a historical place, religious place, or a natural place gives the pleasure of seeking the place. It makes sense. Understand the landscape. The joy of being together is 100%. Everyone's point of view comes to mind. Habits show that age is respected by the combination of different age groups. The cumulative effect of this is that the tour is filled with affection for happiness. An important solution is to work together to create a simple attitude. This can be accomplished by putting in place statutory programs, projects, collective responsibility. It is difficult to fulfill any responsibility alone. Many people come together to create more power. As new ideas come in, teachers need to understand that quality increases. The one who is lacking in quality should be given a helping hand. The one who has the quality should have the opportunity to use it. This increases teamwork and strengthens the school's success in inter-school competitions, school exams. Helping a teacher during family problems, asking for help when he is ill, helping with work assignments, etc., can increase the love affair. Cooperation enhances affection. Awareness of one goal, fasting statement, and cooperation with one another can lead to teamwork. Our school is different. It works for a specific purpose. It has some traditions. This inner awareness shows that consistency, uniformity. 1.4.11 Relationships with teachers, associations, groups, and subgroups. It is important to have an organization of teachers in the school. If an organization has many schools, then there should be a union of teachers in all those schools. Being an organization means that the problems of the teachers can be overcome. If they find something they have a problem with, there may be an opportunity for the delegates to effectively dispose of it. Community power stands behind a community voice. As previously demonstrated, this organization increases the teacher's mood. Moral strength increases. The organization can impose arbitrary duties on the directors and the government, and the organization can also set up financial support for their legislative work. The organization can formulate its opinion by taking a detailed study of new courses and new schemes. Breadth of the union is to welcome what is good and to reject what is bad. If a teacher is wronged, it can be difficult to remove him personally. He may be desperate, but if he is proven through the organization, he will surely get justice. If the teacher's credit and status are to be respected, the strength of the organization must be backed by him. The Kuwaiti organization comes to fearlessly offer its sayings. It is also the organization that has the power to implement a new idea. The organization needs to contribute to educational progress. This internal teachers' union should stand on the foundation of a complete democracy. According to the constitution of the organization, its office bearers will take office in an electoral manner. The functioning of this organization shall be under its agreed constitution. This event will determine the number of office bearers, their rights, their duties. Their deadliness will be fixed. The rules for selecting office bearers will also be fixed if the office bearers disregard the signals provided by the constitution. Then measures have to be taken. The executive body of the organization, its working subject will be guided in the constitution. The constitution will also guide when and where to hold meetings, when and how to keep records. The constitution provides for the general meeting to be held within a certain time to inform general members of the activities carried out within the framework of constitution. The responsibility of the organization is to carry out the community responsibility successfully. As the incumbent is changing, new teachers will have the opportunity. It will be refreshing to see something work done, and the environment for teachers will continue. To learn responsibility, the office bearers will act as a teachers for their position by treating them sympathetically. They will understand their demeanor and strengthen their mutual trust. Teachers will also think that democracy is a good way. The headmaster should attend the monthly meeting of this organization. Pay close attention to the work carried out. Of course, the office bearer should inform, give an idea of the circulars of the account or the resolution of the organization. They should try their advice and advise on it. This leads to strategic thinking and thinking for the general teacher. They get an idea of the direction of the government and the organization. Activities can be undertaken for the improvement of the school student or the development of quality, camps, study classes, the guidance of excellent teachers, etc. Assistance can be given to poor and needy students. Fundraising can be done to update school facilities. So drivers will also be proud of the organization. They will find this organization complementary. This organization will help to carry out many of the drivers' plans. This will create an atmosphere of harmony between the teachers and the driver and will help the organization grow. The organization should be aware of its duty as well as realize the claim. Strength should not be disruptive. The chief principal should keep it constant. Of course, human nature does not change even though the organization is formed. Desire to be an incumbent, votes vary, some even dare to believe what you say. The result of all of this is that over time groups are created and by the group's orientation, they create stress in everything. The atmosphere starts to get messy. Therefore, the headmaster has to carefully try to reduce the age of contradiction between them. The grouping was disastrous. Unity breaks down. For this, the headmaster should not be affiliated with any one group. His behavior should show that you are not a group. He should adopt an impartiality policy. He should use whatever group he has in mind with constructive wisdom. He wants to run a school. You have to take a look at how the atmosphere is pleasant. When the opportunity arises, he should explain these different groups and explain how to avoid them. Who does not believe in biography should be more encouraged. Conflict is a symptom of survival, but it has its limitations. Once democracy is decided, tolerance must be maintained. It should emphasize ideological compromise rather than conflict. We need to understand the role of another with empathy. It should be noted in the teacher's mind that the mistake of all the people and the perception that everything is right is dangerous. All teachers should be considered as friends by the headmaster so that school does not have to be swept away. He must follow certain steps, setting his example before others can inspire others to do the same. All should be brought together on many occasions to bring them into the discussion, should help to eliminate misunderstandings. That is, no group will take the lead role. On the contrary, it would be clear that the group was suffering and the group's rivalries would end. Ideas of degradation will dissipate and the environment will fade. If a teacher is not present, it is wrong to condemn him. What right do we have to create contradictory ideas about someone? On the contrary, if anyone does such a thing, he should preach on time. If he continues his business by pretending to be a retreat, he should show the courage he needs because in the end the organization is better than the individual. You have to be careful that the environment is clean without taking part in the condemnation. The headmaster should not leave his handle work in these different groups and try to find out what is going on there because this craftsman will put something in it and put it on fire. Some people are disruptive. Encouraging them is to unite one another to end the unity permanently. All teachers should be treated equally. Impacting someone or allowing a colleague to get closer is more likely to affect others, and the headmaster's image is dirty. Respect for him diminishes. If others believe that this is what we are supposed to be, then the consequences will be very bad. The headmaster should not individually engage in financial transactions because it is likely to break the relationship. Occasionally, there may be occasions for acceptance, so your space is scarce and you can't do what you want it to do. Often, teachers create conflicts. In such a situation, the headmaster should not let his mind go without dieting. Invite struggling teachers to understand their side so the root of the conflict will be known and the solution will be known. Explain to anyone who is an aggressor. Show him how to blame him and tell him not to do it again. Then take him close and entrust his interests to him and invest his mind in constructive work so that he will be satisfied and the struggle will be forgotten. This struggle should be resolved by the advice and support of highly educated, experienced, and educated teachers who are in the congregation. When all the teachers accept the commitment of love to the headmaster, the struggling individual falls apart. They become mentally retarded and believe that it is desirable to cooperate with all of them, and then it is easier to end the conflict. The headmaster should take care that there is competition for work in the school and that it will remain so. If he sets aside his duty of thought for the sake of popularity, his comrades will go out of their way, creating misery among them. Therefore, the headmaster should not relinquish the role of the head of the family. Last point of this first lesson 1.4.12 Teachers Meeting. The monthly meetings of the teachers are essential for the relationship between the headmaster and the teacher, as well as the teacher and the teacher, and whether or not they work as planned. If there is any fresh suggestion from the government, it is advisable to inform the teacher. That work can be done through these meetings. Those who want to make some suggestions can also be done by reviewing whether the academic work is on schedule. Then consider the obstacles that may arise in academic progress. Teacher suggestions or problems should also be discussed. This discussion should be done democratically and openly. The meeting should have a schedule. It should be reported to all teachers along with the advance notice of the meeting so that teachers will come to mind. They may be able to discuss the topic before the meeting and use it for daily school activities. In terms of school management, the sections which are divided or subject committees should be forwarded to this monthly meeting. They should also outline their next program so that discussions will be finalized. All teachers will understand the work of each department. The functions of different sections of your school will be exposed to them. Therefore, the current status of school will be noticed by everyone. It can also be said which needs to be added. It is our job and we should all do it. It is important to use the means of this meeting to ensure that all teachers are taken care of by the time they are created for teachers. These meetings should help solve the teachers' professional problems, be it teachers' meetings or associations. Teachers should have access to pre-service and in-service education. They should work in the best interest of the teacher. The newspaper representative should be called to the school to inform them about the actual work carried out in the school, the plans currently underway, and the plans to be carried out in the future. They will put the features they find in this plan in front of the public in their newsletter. A publicity department should be operating continuously in the school. He should send the school news to the newspaper frequently. The promotion of various workshops held in the school, facilities and programs for quality improvement, as well as various projects of teachers' extraordinary achievements made by students and teachers in many fields and rewards received as a kind of inspiration. News of various successful activities should be detailed in the students' class manuals or school periodicals. Please inform them of the meeting of the parents. The education department should report it. That is, some activities will be undertaken from other schools as well. It will automatically become publicity and spread. It can also be replicated and improved. Through the school's annual affair or cultural events at the school, some of the features of the school can be seen close by the students and parents of the community. The school panel provides the most up-to-date information about the school. Panel writing should be compelling. The school teacher decorates the board. The coming of the moment pauses and looks at the pen writing. He gets provocative information. There are some permanent panels in the school. It has a record of quality students' headquarters and their periods are shown. Some big photos last an occasion. Seeing all this, the citizens coming to the school come up with ideas about the school and the spread is everywhere. Whenever something special happens, it was recorded that it was reaching the community. The school's accolades, shields and cups, trophies, shields, cups and recommendation cards are visible to everyone in the building so that the school's glory and traditions come to mind. In some schools, there is a custom of note-taking and mathematical attitude that the students in that school are a talkative advertisement. The greatness of the school hits the public and creates a feeling of appreciation for the school. The impression that everything there is ideal will automatically come to mind. Students are encouraged, teachers come in handy. The relationship between the headmaster and the teacher helps to strengthen. Here I am mentioning some questions. Maybe we'll ask in the exam. First question, you may have interviewed teachers before. Check them out according to the guidelines of how they were taken at that time. Second question, write a comment on what actions you take to encourage new teachers. Third question, how is your supervision at school lessons? What changes can you make? Fourth question, group your colleagues in the way they work. Find the forgotten teacher and write down their characteristics. Fifth question, what are the welfare plans for teachers at your school? What would you add to that? Sixth question, explain the training needs of your colleagues. Create a training plan for them. And seventh question, do you think there is a tendency among your colleagues? If not, suggest solutions. Last point of this first lesson, 1.5 summary. Human relations is a complex field. Although the headmaster is concerned with many factors, the relationship with the teacher peers is most important in terms of school effectiveness. So far, we have discussed what can be done to make this relationship intimate, united. However, this does not always answer all the questions related to colleagues. This guide will provide you with some guidelines to make this relationship healthy and strong. But still, some questions remain. As a principal, especially after deciding human relations, you feel that whether we are doing it right or wrong, the final answer to this question is why our school is connected to this core question. And that question is related to the goal, the quality of the student. If in doubt, make your decision on student quality goal. The headmaster should first consider the consequences. If this result is going to be good, then you should not assume that your action is correct. Here we have completed the first lesson. I hope you will like it and it will be really helpful to you. Thank you.